Yes. Make it there. Ready?
Wait, do you have a thing that says join the meeting? Are we not doing the join meeting? Usually I get a thing on my iPad that says join the meeting. So maybe it's me.
As you can tell, I don't have
Thank you.
I have.
I'm just providing leadership in this day technology organization.
I got it now. Okay.
I'm ready to go. Good evening. Sorry we're starting a few minutes late. Appreciate your patience. Thank you for joining us for the meeting of the Plymouth Community School Board for October 2nd, 2018. So join me in the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Our first item is to set the agenda. Any additions or corrections?
We did add 4.5 of the business items, the acknowledgement of receipt of paid lunch equity, and then some affidavits in the consent agenda under 3.2.
With that, I'll entertain a motion to accept the agenda.
So moved. Second.
Motion is second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Agenda is accepted. Are there 1.3? Are there members of the audience that would like to address any agenda items this evening? Okay. Again, thank you for being here. We'll have another chance at the end if you change your mind. Focus on learning.
Yes, we have Lincoln here. Mr. Gall, go ahead and announce.
Well, I'm excited, okay, to have Mr. Ulrich, okay, our ELL teacher here, outstanding ELL teacher here, to introduce his students and their learning. Okay.
Welcome. Thank you. Thanks for inviting us. As Mr. Gall said, my name is Mr. Ryan Ulrich. I'm the E&L teacher at Lincoln Junior High. Today I'm going to be describing a strategy designed to meet the needs of our ELLs. At the beginning of the year, I tell my students that this is not an English class. This is a class about survival. For a student with limited English skills, they will face immense challenges each and every day. How will they navigate the complex languages of math, science, language arts, and social studies? How will they be successful academically if they cannot negotiate meaning across all of these classrooms? With only 50 minutes or so in my classroom, my English classroom, I cannot possibly teach them everything that they need to know to survive around school. The question becomes, what do my students need to survive? The WIDA framework offers a philosophy based on what the students can do. I decided to expand the WIDA's framework of can-do descriptors and create a class where each student has the opportunity to focus on their own specific language skills. Thus, we use a portfolio-based structure where each student completes an academic task, uses the performance matrix, which is on the previous slide. This is our skills. Uses the performance matrix to create their own language goals and then self-reflects on whether or not they have survived each challenge. Here are a couple of examples. These are the projects that we've been working on. On the left-hand side, it is a project designed for our level 1 and level 2 students, focusing on using high-frequency vocabulary describing school objects. On the right-hand side is a project designed for our upper-level ELLs, level 3s and level 4s, focusing on different types of text, matching cause to effect, and using details to support ideas. With that being said, I would like to introduce our first student speaker. He's going to be talking about his slideshow school project. His name is Fernell Lemus Castellanos.
Hi, my name is Arnaud, and I'm from Honduras. I have 13 years old, and I've been in the United States for a year and a half. As you can see, I make two goals. I make a writing goal and speaking goal. My writing goal is I can create compound sentences. My speaking goal means that I can say opinions. And as you can see, I put two pictures. And for these two pictures, I use high frequency vocabulary words, and I use science words, which is level 5. The science words are beaker, graduate cylinder, and right here, I describe my two pictures. As you can see, again, I use the word beaker and graduate cylinder. The blue sentences are compound sentences. Compound sentence means that in one sentence, there's two. In compound sentences is the and, but, and so. I think that I did a really good job to describe my pictures, and because I use level 5 skill and I use compound sentences.
Good job. Just so you're aware, for future viewing, if you'd like to see his video, he also created a video where he talked about his project to express his idea. I'm not going to show it right now.
Is that a link in there?
It is a link in there. And there's a link to his slideshow and his project document. The video is 5 minutes long. I asked for a minute video. For now, also did not say he's a level 2 student, and he specifically used the performance matrix to choose level 3 goals. So he picked goals above his level. It was not my decision. It was his decision. That's great. Number 2. So do we think Purnell survived? Is he a survivor?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I agree. Next up, let's have Carla Gonzalez Alvarez.
Hello, my name is Carla Gonzalez Alvarez. I am a 7th grader and level 3 student. I am from Plymouth, Indiana, and I go to Mexico for 4 years, and I'm 1 year here. I made 3 goals for reading, or writing, or speaking. How did I make my skills? How did I make my goals? I looked into my skills and written down a writing goal that I can match cause and effect. As you can see, I'm a graphic organizer, an organizer about Ireland, gender, and causes. My writing goal that I can make short paragraphs and give details. For example, I took the article and used my graphics to make a summary, and I made 6 paragraphs, an introduction, 4 causes, and 1 conclusion. As a result, I did the right task. Thank you.
And the only reason why her video is not included in this is because we finished this project last Friday. So technically I just missed the cutoff for getting the presentation submitted in time. We can get it submitted later.
Yep, absolutely.
Now, Alan Sosa Pedro.
Hello, my name is Alan Sosa Pedro. I'm 12 years old and I'm 7th grade. I moved to USA about a year and a month ago. As you can see, I created a graphical organizer with 2 goals, which is reading goal can match cause and effect, and writing is create compound sentences.
What was your article?
My article, the main idea of the article was about why are many animals energy. And the summary that I wrote, the blue sentences are compound sentences.
Do you think you survived this project?
And I think I survived this project because, in my opinion, I think I did a great graphic organizer and a good summary. Thank you.
That's also why his video has not been linked, and on some of their goals, you're going to see that the speaking goal was not completed. That's because we did that on Friday. So now those have been completed, but they were not completed before the cutoff. Finally, Fernando Pacheco.
Hello, my name is Fernando Pacheco, and I am from Honduras. I have been here 5 years. So first, what I did is I created 3 goals based on the performance matrix. So my reading goal was that I could cause maximum effect. My writing goal is that I can create compound sentence, and my speaking goal is that I can say a sentence. So secondly is like what I did here is I made a graphic organizer based on the article that I read that was called Air Pollution and Its Effects. So in this graphic organizer, what I had to do is find some causes and effects, so that this will help me to create my summary, make it easier to write it all fast. So this was my summary. So in this summary, I use words like atmosphere, fossil fuels, environment, and so like because of this, I think I did a good job and like show level 5 skills, because those are like level 5 skills, and I think that's like why I survived in this project.
Thank you for listening, unless you have any questions. I don't know if we do questions and answers.
Absolutely.
Oh, we do.
I just comment, I think it's a great program. I think you do a great job. Kids were very impressive. Did a super job.
Excellent. This is a proud teacher moment.
You guys all did an excellent job. Every single one of you are more than survivors. I think you're succeeding and doing great. Do you guys have fun in your class?
Yeah.
It is a
Every day you have fun?
high.
Don't answer that. Don't answer that.
It's a very high energy class when you walk in, you can just feel it. Yeah, and the intentionality that Mr. Ulrich and those students have on developing their English language is just really impressive. This was, I'm very proud of you guys as well.
And of course, you're helping your brothers and sisters, right?
Just a couple observations. You guys are definitely survivors. I could not imagine me going to your country, being there for a year and doing what you did tonight. This environment can be intimidating enough for grown-ups, so congratulations. And you can start breathing when you leave the room here. The other observation I had were the folks in back here, your families are here supporting you, and that's a big deal. So I know you're getting that support at home, and thank you for being here with these students here this evening. So that's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, this is a time where you're allowed to leave, or you can stay for the rest of the meeting, so I suggest you leave. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
All right, moving on then to section 3. That was a great.
Yeah. Very good presentation.
Yeah. For our consent agenda, are there any items that board members would like to pull out and have considered separately? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion on the consent agenda. So moved. Motion. Second. Any questions or comments?
Yes. I would certainly like to thank Susie Creekbaum. She's not here tonight. She's retiring, which I didn't know. Susie's a great teacher, dedicated, and we will definitely miss her. The kids will miss her. I wish her all the best. Super young lady, great teacher.
Appreciate that. Any other comments? Thank you. We have motion and second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Business transactions, project update.
Derek from the Skillman Corporation is here and ready to share some updates.
Good evening. We had a good month, last board meeting. Over in the academic two-story classroom addition, we've got 95% of all the footings and foundations poured. There was a little congestion right where those two meet with the elevator, and then you get into the musical unit C wing. So they're dialing those in, should have those wrapped up by the end of the week. Then they're going to move over and start pouring for the mezzanine over by next to the gym. And then they'll work their way back towards the two-story addition and close off the building that way. We should be done with all the footings and foundations in about 3 weeks. Underground wise, plumber, he's got all the rough ends done in the locker room, net E, right off the gym. And then he's got most of A done, the two-story wing, and then the other half he's getting started next week on the B portion.
So if you drive by, you see all the white things sticking out of the ground. That's what you're talking about?
Yep, those are all your plumbing lines, drain lines for the building. So again, we're just focusing on getting things ready for winter. We are going to resequence a little bit on that two-story wing. The mason contractor's going to go in. He started getting the first course of lockdown, and then we'll start pouring slab on grade earlier than we anticipated, and that'll give him time to continue working on finishing up the gym. Gym joist, the deck will be set October 22nd, so that's a big milestone. All that structure will be up, and we'll start getting it, put the roof on a couple weeks after that. So by mid-November, we should have that area dried in. Then we'll pour that floor, and then we'll utilize that for storage space when we get closer to tying everything together. Then from there, he's going to start laying block walls in that two-story wing, probably first week in November. And then we'll start, the floors will be poured, and we'll start decking that, and then that way we can heat that space throughout the winter, and then the floors will be poured, will be heated, they can continue to work. And then the mason has to provide winter protection, so he'll start running the second floor walls in that two-story wing throughout the winter. As long as it doesn't get below like 0, and if it's in the teens and 20s, it's not a problem for them to heat and work. Site-wise, we're just about done with all of our stone subgrade parking areas, so we'll have more laid down area as more materials get brought to the site. Up to 10 masons now, so that's good. We got a couple more coming, I heard, next week. So we're continually building their crew. It's not like they're getting 5 or 6 at a time, but they're fucking 2 or 3 here and there. So hopefully by, let's say, end of the month, there's at least 15 out there, which sounds like that's their plan. So that happens to be in good shape.
Still pretty much on schedule?
Yeah. Yep. I gotta readjust it a little bit since because originally we were gonna deck everything, get the walls up, and then water floor through the winter. So I just gotta resequence it, but it makes more sense considering the time of year, get the floors poured, and you're not fighting that part in the winter time. And then there's a nice solid, good spot for them to work through the winter. Those are the gym walls, pictures of them. There's all the piping, that's the locker room area, so that's all the underground, and the electrician follows in behind him, scratches the stone out of the way, and puts his conduit down. Those are the 2-story areas. That might be the last one. I thought there was another way to fit one in here. Oh, you can't, yeah, that's back there. There. Yep. Towards the top of that bottom picture, that's the elevator pit area. And you can see all the white, the plumbing behind all that. That's all the underground for that 2-story unit. We built a brick sample mock-up panel I think colors look good, everybody's happy with them, so if you're out there, it's right behind our trailer, you can take a look and see what the building's gonna eventually look like when it's start putting brick on. Any questions?
Sounds good.
Looks good, sounds good.
It's fun to go by and see.
Yeah.
It's like a building now.
Yeah.
I can see it from work. Every day I turn around and look.
Yeah, the block takes a little longer to speed the actual results. You get steel building, knock it all up, and it looks like it's already almost done, but there's a lot of detail work still, but it's what it is, so we gotta do it.
Keep up the good work.
All right, thank you. Have a good night.
Take care. Okay, our next few items are dealing with the budget. 4.2, consider adoption of the 2019 budget and resolutions.
Yes, so it is the same figures that we went over in the hearing back in September. And we have added some resolutions. And there are some new resolutions this year due to the new format of budgeting and what they're requesting. So the typical first resolution is the normal one we have for debt service, which we request that funding we do not get for textbook rental, we provide for in our debt service to cover that. There's a format and a form we have to complete, which is in this place. And then the other one that is normal is the resolution, which is considered Form 4, which is a state form that's required, and that will be for signature tonight. The new ones are the budgeting tax cap loss as projected by our financial advisors rather than that which was provided by the Department of Local Government Finance, asking for us to use off the one that the finance advisors came up with. And it'll be, the forms do not yet reflect the change, but this resolution will show the GLGF that the change is authorized when they begin working on the budget. This second new resolution is relating to the Form 4B, which will allow us to modify certain lines in the budget to reflect our actual expenditures for 2018, which will help keep our budget accurate as possible. And then the third resolution is for the LIT, local income tax. This allows us to utilize this revenue in our debt service fund, which will help keep our rate as low as possible in this fund. Those are.
Thank you. You've heard the recommendation, let's get it on the table. Is there a motion to approve the resolutions as presented?
So moved.
Motion and second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. 4.3, consider adoption of the 2019 capital project plan.
Okay, even though the capital project plan will become a part of the operations fund, we still have to follow protocol and state statute. And we are still creating and maintaining a short and long-term CPF plan. And these documents are reflective of those plans. And we still have to have you pass a resolution to adopt the capital project plan, even though this is going to be part of operations.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. Any questions on the capital project plan? All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. 4.4, consider adoption of the bus replacement plan 2019.
This is the same scenario as the capital projects plan, where the bus replacement plan will become part of the operations fund, but we still have to create and maintain a short and long-term plan for these buses. And then the documents are reflective of those plans and the resolution to adopt as well.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. All set? All right. Thank you. 4.5, acknowledgement of receipt of paid lunch equity.
As part of corrective action from the State Board of Accounts, we need to show you this document. We've already approved the lunch prices, which for this year were not changed. So in the future, this will be a part of that action of when we actually act on lunch prices, whether there's an increase or not. So this one we're presented with that. You'll see on there the exemption requesting that there was no change in lunch prices, but nonetheless we need to let the record show that the board has acknowledged receipt of this. No motion necessary, just the minister about that.
Oh, okay. We acknowledge.
Okay,
Thank you.
good enough.
4.6, enrollment report.
This will be submitted later this week, and as we work through final reconciliations and discrepancy that it may change one student here or there in the next couple of days. But I did want you to see where things stand at this point. Also provided you a second document in there that just shows what's been happening over the past 5 years, and we have been declining. See that there. This was predicted by that demographic study that was done several years ago. I say several, a few years right off the time that we were peaking with our enrollment. So if we were to look at this and analyze it, I'd go back to some of his findings at that time, attribute it to low birth rates and some out-migration. We look at transfer, which we don't have all the details as far as loss, but we've been net positive on our transfer students since that came into play. So the impact is connected to what you just approved, and that's budget and revenues that are associated with students and what will be the education fund. And just during that time frame that I show you there, we look at and analyze our revenues through 17, 18. We've lost 1.7 million in that time frame. We've taken steps to continue to be financially responsible and good stewards and make some changes, but it has impacts and support for this board to continue to be aware of that and how to support it in those areas. Again, not an action item. We'll be submitting here at the end of the week, but we're going to be aware of where we are and the impact that that's had as well.
Questions, comments? It's not a great trend.
It's not. We continue to do and work hard for our kids and our community and create great opportunities. And I would say,
yeah, that's not what I mean.
As I was projecting this year and looking at the prior year, we certainly lost less than what we were anticipating, and the demography predicted at some point we would be the plateau, and I'm hopeful that we're.
Very good, thank you. No action necessary, right? 4.7 then would be the master contract.
The contract before you for approval tonight reflects just over a $600 increase to the base salary for certified teachers who do meet the eligibility criteria. We also, through some grant dollars, will increase incentives for those who are pursuing credentialing in dual credit courses and for those who teach a dual credit course. We also clarified some language in Pacific as far as eligibility for that. Appreciate everyone's efforts in the process, the time that they spend doing that, and certainly like to be doing more. And I think we're able to, as I shared, this kind of a polarity of where we are and trying to make things happen and still do right for our folks. Again, presented to you this evening I should say too, I'm sorry, it has been ratified and passed by unanimously by PD.
So moved.
Second.
Motion 2 seconds. Discussion.
I just comment that, I'm elated that financially we can provide that raise for the teachers. They are most deserving, and, I hope that it gets better and we can do it more often, but, it's great.
Just probably add a couple thoughts tied into the last agenda item. The impact of state funding. We went into negotiations with the anticipation we would have less money from the state again. And that has been the case for the last several years. And so knowing that, we wanted to maximize our certified salary savings to be able to provide a raise for the teachers. And at the same time, keep a good watch and be very intentional that this has to be financially viable for the future. So the $621 raise that the teachers are receiving, that goes on their base pay, amounts to about a 1.8% raise at the bottom level and just under 1% at the top level. Just in comparison, so everyone kind of has an idea, inflation is approximately 1.8%. So it's matching inflation. We are anticipating insurance rates to go up. Our contract is much different where that is not automatically covered, so that will eat into the take-home pay of the teachers. But at the same time, we appreciate with the teachers' appreciation grant that the board agreed to put half of that on the base salary. So that helps as well as getting a little bit more in the teachers' pockets. It's a challenge. It's a challenge every year. You know that by going through the budget. We know that by going through the budget. And we appreciate the time and the teaching that often Candy and Andy do, helping us to understand the finances so that we can help educate our teachers as well. So like Mr. Pinkerton said, you know, it's great that we are able to get a raise. I hope for better times in the future. And looking forward to when we are working together and moving towards those better times.
I agree with that. With the funding formula because it makes it very difficult to plan long term. 2 years, every 2 years, you're really not sure what the results of that are going to be, and sometimes suggest some thoughts about what type of control we can have locally about our financial future. So appreciate your comments and continued working with you and the teachers on. And I love the perspective. We need to be financially viable going forward. So lots of things for us to consider in that regard. So with that, we have a motion, a couple of seconds. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Thanks for all your efforts. Superintendent.
That's you. That's me. And this past weekend was a busy one, especially for our music department, hosting our annual Harvest Festival of marching bands. I didn't see all of it, but I went out and saw the end and saw our band, and I'm not an expert in this area, but I've watched them every year, and I'm not sure I've seen them better than they are. They're a great story, great message in the program. It's exciting to see. We had a huge performance on Sunday as well with our strings festival of our orchestra kids, eventually all up on there on stage, and just great to see all of our kids and doing well and participation in the music programs. I want to offer special thanks to St. Joseph Regional Medical Center. We had some publicity on this, but they contributed some supporting equipment to our schools and programs, and it may seem like a small thing, but cost-wise, those things can add up, and time to just continue to look for ways to broaden that positive relationship that we have. So special thanks to them. Our recent home football game was a pleasure to have representatives from the IHSAA here and to help recognize Plymouth High School as a unified champion school, and that's thanks in large part to the efforts of C.C. Robinson, who's not sure where we are in the soccer section right now, but out there. So we'll find time to bring her in and recognize her as well. But appreciate her efforts, and it was nice to have that recognition for work being done for kids. Also, kind of relatedly, but our kids do a lot of work in fundraising for the Riley Hospital Foundation and received an award here that identifies us as a Riley Corporation for all the successful fundraising that everyone does. And so we'll get it framed and we'll have it posted in the board room for recognition. Appreciate our kids' efforts. A lot of that is surrounding the dance marathon, but they do so much more, and they have fun with it, and some great lessons learned.
I'm assuming that's out of our social media, a lot of the students involved with that, won't see a plaque on the wall here, so.
Yeah, we'll put it up, but we'll push it out. And then College Go Week activities occurring throughout the district, especially this last week, in a variety of ways, and providing students of all ages the opportunity to learn more about the different college and career options after graduating from high school. And also, I want to thank, again, Insilla College, third year now, for hosting Walking My Future event for kindergartners and first graders. It's not just ours, it's all of them throughout the county. It's been a great time there to just experience the college campus and continue to build that hope and into their future. So.
Next meeting date?
Next meeting date is election night, which is November 6th.
Really? That's what it was last year.
Really, what
Well,
was
there
that?
were, I work the polls,
Oh,
so
okay.
I work from 5 o'clock in the morning to when I get done. But I guess we'll be here whatever time I get here.
No. We have, it's our meeting, we can have it whenever convenient for all of our members. Just how about Monday the 5th?
You got an hour from 6 to 7.
Except for, no, because I have to bring everything up. Once we get everything closed down, and then go back down to Argus with my judge, and then come back.
How about Monday the 5th?
That would work for me.
Sorry, man.
7 o'clock.
Problem solved.
Thank you.
Monday the 5th, 7 o'clock.
Will there be birthday cake on November 5th?
For whose birthday yours? Well, of course there will be. How many candles? Just wonder how big the damn cake needs to be. Anything from the comments? Yes.
I know that Mr. Hartley said that 1.7 million lost was over what period of time?
Period of time on that piece of paper.
Like 5 years? And does that reflect the extra vocational money that my state honors us with?
That is encompassing all revenues into the general fund.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Have a good evening. Thank you.
Yep.